Right, so do you remember in one of my last videos when I said this? Let's try to remember to be demure, mindful, and cute. I don't even know what demure means. Reserved, modest, and shy, typically used of a woman. Okay, the more you know. Well, when I posted that video, it became very apparent to me that I was quite literally the only person in the world that didn't know what it meant. Somehow Marky has avoided the demure trend, lol. Watching Marky cluelessly read demure warms my heart. Such a good video, very demure, very thoughtful. Like, honestly, I didn't have a clue what was going on here. Well, folks, I am very proud to announce that I now officially know what demure is. And not only do I know where it is, I know the origin story, and it all started with this TikTok account called Jools Lebron, a TikToker with 2 million followers that started this catchphrase that has well and truly caught on. Oh, and by the way, I should probably make it very clear that this video isn't just talking about the fact that there's a trend of people saying very demure, very mindful. It's actually got a lot bigger than that, and it looks like it's actually going to go to court. But firstly, just to give you the origin story, Jools started posting a bunch of videos where she would say very demure, very mindful, and it caught on. And she was doing this in multiple videos. This is the biggest one from what I can tell.
You see how I do my makeup for work? Very demure, very mindful. I don't come to work with a green cut crease. I don't look like a clown when I go to work. I don't do too much. I'm very mindful while I'm at work. See how I look very presentable? The way I came to the interview is the way I go to the job. A lot of you girls go to the interview looking like Marge Simpson and go to the job looking like Patty and Selma. Not demure.
Okay, so you get the point. And there's also countless amounts of other videos on Jill's channel where she is saying like very demure, very mindful. It became her catchphrase. It became a massive catchphrase around the world. Like genuinely some of the biggest celebrities in the world are saying it. I mean, first of all, because of these videos, she actually made her national TV debut.
You see how I do my makeup for work?
You know, that TikTok has been viewed over 33 million times. And, you know, I love it so much, I asked Jools to come and be on the show. So we tracked her down, and here she is tonight.
Also, you have celebrities like Selena Gomez talking about it.
If I was to ask you guys who was the most demure on set this season, who would that be? Demure.
I haven't taught them this yet.
You haven't yet. You don't know it yet.
So, I'll tell you guys later, but I would say Michael.
Oh, that's a good answer.
You also had Zoe Kravitz and Sabrina Carpenter doing like a skit about it on Jimmy Fallon.
Very mindful.
Very cutesy.
Very demure.
And it even went as far that you have people like Toto Wolff, the CEO of the Mercedes F1 team, saying it in a TikTok video.
Have you realized that I've not been smashing my headphones? Very demure, very mindful.
So I think it's fair to say this trend has completely blew up at this point. And clearly this was very overwhelming for Jools, right? Because this trend that she has started has been so big that some of the biggest celebrities in the world are saying it. This kind of could become a brand for her.
Everyone keeps asking me like how I feel about what's going on. And I feel so overwhelmed. Like I feel so grateful, don't get me wrong, but everything's happening so fast. Like, I just landed in LA and I'm just, like, so overwhelmed. Like, I have so much to do as soon as I got here. Oh, God, but I'm living my fucking dream, bitch.
And from what I can tell, everyone was very happy for Jools. She was getting all of these opportunities from something that just started as a TikTok trend, has become something that could become a brand. She's obviously got a ridiculous amount of followers, she's getting a ridiculous amount of views on her videos. But this is where there became a bit of a problem, because when Jools is making these videos, a lot of the comments are from people saying like, look, you need to trademark this now before someone steals it. In fact, on the video we just watched, the top comment with 52,000 likes says, baby, go get Demure trademarked now. And I do believe she was in the process of like trying to do it, but I guess maybe she wasn't quick enough because it's now been trademarked by someone else. As you can see here, there's a trademark for very demure, very mindful, and it was actually filed on August 20th, 2024, literally as this trend was blowing up, just 6 days ago as I'm recording this video. And it was actually filed by this guy called Jefferson Bates, who has no link to this at all. He just saw it blowing up, saw it wasn't trademarked, decided to do it himself. And as we can see by this article by the Pink News, they've said, according to the court documents obtained by the outlet, the trademark is intended for use in marketing, advertising, and promotion, which I assume is what the trademark would be intended for if Jools managed to do it first. And also because of this, people started doing a bit of digging and found out that this Jefferson Bates has got a bit of a history kind of filing trademarks. And in fact, as we can see right here, there is currently an appeal for a trademark he filed, and I believe this is with an NFL team. I mean, yeah, as we can tell by the potential opposer, it says Pro Football Inc. and NFL Properties LLC. So yeah, you can see why people may believe that this Jonathan Bates allegedly just files trademarks that he thinks are going to blow up before they actually get trademarked. I don't know if it's because he's going to use that trademark trademark to sell stuff himself, or if he is just going to use it as like leverage to get like the person who actually should have the trademark to pay him for said trademark. But either way, Jools ended up uploading a video about the situation because I believe she was like just about to release merch, and now she's like, oh fuck, I can't because I haven't got the trademark, and this is what she had to say.
This merch situation is like really like fucking me up. Like I've just invested so much money and time into this, and I feel like I did it wrong. Like I feel like I didn't try hard enough, and like I wanted this to like do so much for like my family and like provide for my transition, and like I just feel like I dropped the ball. Like I feel like I fucked up and like someone else has it now. And I like don't even know what I could have done better because like I didn't have the resources.
Okay, so as you just heard, she clearly had some big plans for this. When she saw it blow up, she was like, oh my god, this could change mine and my family's lives. And now there's this big situation where someone has filed a trademark before she had a chance to. Now look, from my perspective, I would like to think that there is a way around this because this guy just filed it knowing fine well that he didn't start this big trend and he hasn't been using it for marketing or whatever else before. He has just filed it because he saw it blow up. Like, there is a lot of evidence for that. But just because I would like to assume that doesn't mean it's true. I'm not like a lawyer by any means, right? I don't know how this is going to work legally, but a lot of people have been making videos about this and they seem pretty hopeful about the situation. And also I do just want to say it because I know there will be some comments in this video being like, oh, I mean, it's a fucking word, right? Demure, it's in the dictionary. How can she trademark that? And also there'll probably be people who don't think it's that big of a deal that it's been trademarked by someone else and maybe think it's a bit silly because it's just like a catchphrase. I don't exactly think either of them comments are fair, really, because I mean, yes, it's just a word. A lot of catchphrases that have real words get trademarked. I mean, that is just something I've seen from people saying, how can you trademark Demure? It's a catchphrase, right? And also I've seen a lot of comments from people saying like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's a brand at the end of the day, right? If you're making any company and you have this catchphrase that people know you for and it's went so big that millions of people now know it because of you, celebrities are saying it, you've got the best marketing you could ever wish for, and then you don't have the trademark for it. Yes, you can say maybe she was naive by not filing it beforehand, but also you can see why that would be such a shitty situation. But either way, let's take a look at a few videos from people talking about the situation. This one is by Sean SVV.
Someone just filed an application to trademark the phrase very demure, very mindful, but it wasn't Jools. And while a lot of people are falsely claiming that Jools can no longer use the phrase, I'm going to show you why that's not true and why Jools shouldn't be worried about anything. In fact, it's going to end up messy for the person who filed this. Jefferson A. Bates, I see you. You weren't being very mindful when you filled out this application, but luckily I read the fine print. I see that you're trying to obtain this trademark for advertising, marketing, and promotional purposes. Now, I can tell you were rushing to fill out this application because there's an error in the second address you listed, but you also agreed to the declaration at the end of the application that warned you about the risks of fraud, perjury, but also knowingly providing false information on this application could lead to consequences.
Yeah, I mean, again, look, I'm no lawyer, but I would like to think it'd be very easy to prove that this guy has falsely filed this trademark, especially if he's never used it anywhere, and clearly it has blew up very recently from a different creator.
Yeah, let's back up. What is trademark? A trademark can be many things, such as a phrase, a word, some symbols, a logo. However, it specifically identifies the goods or services you are offering, and it's how customers recognize you in the marketplace and distinguish you from competitors. Trademarks can also serve as legal protection for your brand. However, having a trademark does not mean you own that specific word or phrase and that no one else can use it. That's a huge misconception on TikTok. It's more about how a phrase or a word can be used when delivering specific goods or services. If Jools decides to put out merch that has the phrase very demure, very mindful on it, it can protect her from people who are trying to reproduce that shirt. Now that's why branding and marketing are so important and why I think Jools has done such a good job at branding herself when it comes to demure and mindful. At the core, trademark is really about association, which is why this application is something I don't think Jools should be worried about. No matter who said this phrase first, it could be Jools, Mulan, Selena, or me in 2010. A concept of secondary meaning or acquired distinctiveness actually comes up, legally speaking. So while a lot of you are fighting over who really said it first, we need to be talking about who we associate most heavily with this phrase. Like Jools said, there's enough demurity and mindfulness to go around.
Okay, right, so just because someone else has said the catchphrase before, I guess that's something that people were like complaining about in the comments, being like, oh, she's not the first person to say it. That doesn't particularly matter, according to Sean here. He is saying that actually it is who you associate it with. Like, why is this such a big phrase at the minute? And obviously it is because of Jools' videos.
Going back to the fine print of this application, Jefferson agreed to several things, basically saying that no one else besides you has the right to use this phrase in a commercial setting, especially if they were aware that you used this phrase before they did, which we could probably guess the answer to based on the application date and when Jools started posting all those videos and when they started popping off. You could actually do something about this. So Jools, if you and your team don't know what to do next, here's a bunch of choices you have. Number 1, you could drop a merch line with the phrase very demure, very mindful on it. Number 2, meeting with a trademark attorney and having them fill out a trademark application with you. In that application, you can claim that you were using this phrase before they were. Additionally, your attorney will probably tell you about something called opposition or being able to refute the application that was filed first, before you. When in reality, you have receipts upon receipts that show prior use of this phrase, you establishing it, you being the face of that brand, and a lot of brands and public figures and celebrities wanting to get in on that. Jools, I am so proud of you. And like other creators, I'm so happy to see you succeed and get your flowers.
Okay, so clearly a very hopeful video, right? This guy's basically saying, you can work around this, we can solve this, right? Now on the flip side, there's other creators like Jamie Scott here who are saying like, yes, you may be able to solve this, but it's going to be a big pain in the ass.
The trademark issue happening with Jools, our demure queen, is actually a lot more complicated than people are making it out to be. Jools, who has posted in tears talking about Jefferson Bates and not being quick enough to get a trademark because she didn't have the resources to. I mean, everyone's in the comments, lawyers included, saying like, you will win that case in court. But if you know anything about trademark law, that is not for the weak. This is not a quick fix. This is something that will take time and money and really drain the spirit out of someone who is so deserving of all the best, because for the time being, it doesn't sound like she's going to be able to merchandise, sell apparel, you know, using the demure, mindful, all that jazz that she came up with and made so super popular and famous.
And then again, we have other creators speaking about this, like Bunny Hedaya, who is speaking about this because she has personal experience in a situation similar to this.
It actually would have saved me the heartache if I would have just waited till I launched and then filed the trademark to be as an in use, which Jools can use because Jools is doing it in use. So my advice would be for Jools to file right now, ASAP, in use, using this trademark for advertising, marketing, whatever you want to do.
Right, so what Bunny is explaining here is in her personal situation, she had this big dispute over trademarks, and it was before she actually started selling products with that trademark. Now, what Jools has in her favor, according to Bunny, is the fact that she has already started producing content with that phrase that has now been trademarked.
This was in 2021, I believe, and as of this month, I am officially, rightfully the owner of Bunsey. It has taken 3 years, a lot of tears, and I lost the entire business. I probably lost $100,000 on it. All because this person wrongfully said that they were using it in commerce, which they were not.
Okay, so what I'm gathering from these videos, which again, I don't know if this stuff is 100% true, but from the majority of people here, it seems like, yes, this is something that Jools can work around and solve, but it's gonna take either a lot of time or a lot of money, or most likely both, and that's obviously very shitty for Jools because this became something that was like so massive, she could capitalize on it, do really well for herself, and now she's got this hurdle in the way where, yes, she's still gonna be able to say it in videos and still blow up and still get millions of views, but it definitely puts a spanner in the works and she might not be able to sell certain products. I don't know exactly the ins and out, but it seems that way. But I'm sure there are some people in the comment section of this video that are either, I don't know, like studying this type of stuff or actually work in this field that will know a lot more than I do. So if you do, please leave a comment in the comment section down below, let us know your thoughts, and yeah, I'm gonna leave the video there. So if you did enjoy, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.